Okay, we got President Richard here that was sent in to me by a good customer of mine, so I'm gonna check it out. It's my thought on this one that they paid so and so to do so and so to it, and nothing really was done. So we'll see what it looks like here in a minute. So this is one of the boats that they use these radios on. This is really cool. I really appreciate you sending that in. So I'm gonna put that up here with my QSL cards and all this fun stuff that I like to have here. There you have it. So I got you up there on display. That's really cool. I appreciate that.
Right there to be back. 269 Michigan. 612. East Coast. Newcastle. Down under. Have a good one, Mike, until we lock around again. Have a good one. Beers and cheers, mate.
Yeah, take it easy. Have a good one. 73. That was just a little fun there before I started on the radio. That doesn't happen very often. So that was 612 in Australia. He was in New South Wales. So the band's been so dead lately, and to be able to talk over there is pretty fun for me. I don't get to do that very often. It's kind of late too in the evening. It's almost 11 o'clock in the evening here on a Tuesday evening. I have the week off from work, so that's why I'm up, and it's kind of nice to be able to enjoy some long DX from. He was surprised to hear Michigan. He says he doesn't really hear Michigan ever too much, so I think it's Wednesday afternoon there, if I'm not mistaken now, or maybe late Wednesday morning or something in Australia. So anyhow, let's check out this radio here. I'm gonna go right to the FM because I think that's where you guys use it the most is FM. So let me get that set up and do a deviation test for you and just kind of see. I have a feeling it's going to be factory, so I just really do. But we'll find out here in a minute. I'm going to put this on channel 20. Whoops, what's going on here? Oh, yeah, channel 20. You had your emergency thing on, so I just flick that off. So we'll go to channel 20 and we'll set this to deviation FM, and I just need to plug this mic in and take a look. Okay, so this is your FM high power, so we'll adjust that and give you a little bit more. I think these can go up to about 40 safely, so it's not going to do a whole lot for you, but I will give you just a little bit more. What we want to check is the deviation, so we're going to go and set that up now. FM. Send the tone. I have a feeling it's only going to be like 2 something, if that. So I have to turn one piece of gear back on. I accidentally shut that off. So my 10 megahertz reference is going. Not that it's super critical for this test, but I'd rather just have it all on. So. Sounds like 612 Australia knows a lot of people in America. Let's see. 27205. Are we on FM? Yes, we are. Let me check my mic plug. Maybe I'm not plugged in properly because you're not getting any audio out on FM, which you should have some audio. So let's take a quick look at that. And maybe they messed up the deviation big time and you have none. Well, you got modulation, so unfortunately I had the wrong 4 to 6 on there, so no harm, no foul done, but it's very low, I think. So now we can run the test. Let me plug the right mic cord in now and we'll take a look. Yeah, so these are really low out of the factory. I mean, 1.8 is terrible. It's way too low. So again, you want yours to be heard like your other ones that you got from me. So I'll take care of that, and like I say, I'll bump it up to about 40 watts or so. it's not a problem. So unfortunately, the big guys sometimes don't know what they're doing. And it's not the first time, and it won't be the last times I've seen radios come from them. And I don't name names or anything, but I always snicker when I hear people say, "Oh, I couldn't wait for you to whatever," and you know, I got one from them, and like you're throwing it in my face. Some guys have thrown that in my face when they got bought a radio from these guys, and I just say, well, if that's what floats your boat, I guess, you know, you paid a lot for really nothing in return. And unfortunately, you know, that's the way it goes sometimes. This is AM, so we'll check that. Oh wow. Yeah, buddy. So this is what the big guys get for whatever they're charging. I don't even know what they're charging, but let's give them a fair shot here. But let's get this up just a little bit. And I mean, it's pretty sad when I could sit here in my small part-time business and do a better job. So here's your AM, and the carrier's too high. I always set them to about 8 because at 12 it's just the radio doesn't do well at a higher level. So let's modulate this. Yeah, it's flat topped. The reason it's flat topped and pinch is because they don't know what they're doing. They just turn it up and that's it. So let me actually, let's do this so we can slow it down some. But I need to check some of my business emails. So if anybody watches this and you've emailed me in the last week, I haven't had a chance to check any emails because I mean I am off of my job, so I'm trying to enjoy a little time when I can and still do this stuff a little bit too. But you know, this is not good. So you know, if you back your mic gain down, it's even still, you have to back your mic gain down almost to like there, but you can still see it's flat topped, and that's because the carrier's too high. So yeah, they didn't do well for you. Let's back the power all the way down and see how it looks. We can make that look a little bit larger. There we go. Now we'll turn the mic gain up. So on the low side they didn't do you any favors either. So I'm going to go in and fix all this. It's unfortunate, but they didn't do your carrier right. I mean, I set them 1 and I set them 8. I'm not saying that's the end all be all, but 8 is better than 12 or whatever. These radios don't perform well up high like that. So they just need to be lower. So I'll get all that squared away for you. Won't even worry about power. I mean, we already know what these do and stuff. They're between 30 and 50 on AM and about 40 on FM. So we'll get it fixed up for you here. But it's a shame. Like I say, I wouldn't spend my hard-earned money with these guys, and you know, I work hard in my job too, and if I was buying a radio for my personal needs, if I wasn't doing this and just had to buy one at retail, I definitely wouldn't buy from those guys, and I wouldn't pay what they want to do, nothing of any value. Okay, so this stuff is pretty easy once you're in the right setup. Pretty straightforward service mode. Like I said, I'm going to raise your power up to about 40 on FM. I'm actually going to go about like that. And then, whoops. Forgot I have to use the up and down on the mic, so that's good. This one, I believe is the AM power, is it? Yes. We don't want that high. It's too high. Whoop. Forgot. So we go the wrong way, it goes up. So we want to bring that down to about 8. And that's good there. And now this is going to be our FM modulation adjustment. So we have our about 40 or so on high. We have our 8 or so on AM high. It's going to be our FM mod. So we'll get that fixed up for you here in a second. For some reason they default to a lower power there, but so let me get the other mic plug back in. We'll run the tone and we'll adjust it. Okay, so we're going to run the test now on FM. Can't remember if we're on a different frequency here. I think we are. Let me check that because I'm not seeing anything. So I'll plug in my frequency counter here and see where we're at here. I did some changes here, so I need to see exactly where we're at when we key up here. I can't see them both at the same time. Yeah, we're at 27,400, so that's why I wasn't picking it up. Alright, so let's come back to this in a second. I need to switch this back. I'm switching out BNCs on my sampler. So we're at about 1.9 or so, which is too low. It's way too low, so definitely want to bring that up as much as it'll let me. Can't believe I have to go step by step here. I can raise the power up too. Just the power was all the way down, that's why. So you have about 4 watts minimum on FM. And now you have that 40. So just keep turning. Just keep on turning and see where it'll end. I'm not sure if this goes all the way to 4, but if it does, that's where I want it. I feel like yours, yeah, it goes to 3.3, which is way better. It's almost double what you had, so I don't remember if the last one went to 4. If this is an older one, it could be something maybe they changed, but 3.3 kilohertz is going to be way louder than 4. The mic gain works and everything, so just run the mic gain all the way up on FM, you'll be fine. And then at lower power, it doesn't change the modulation, it just lowers the power, so you'll have the ability to use higher power with the same modulation as you would on low power. Let me just double check that again on the power, because I want to just make sure as the radio heats up it kind of drops a little bit, and I just want to make sure, because I'm sure on FM you're going to be talking back and forth sometimes, so it could heat up. For anyone that doesn't know, on FM, just turn it up all the way. It's pretty simple, so I'm not doing this to get rich or anything, so if you don't have the ability to test your own deviation, at least on this radio, just turn it up all the way and you'll be around 3 point something at least. But that's just a tip for the day, I guess. Yeah, so on FM you have about 40 again on high, and then if you lower it down, it'll go anywhere kind of in between. At 12 o'clock it's about 18 watts. All the way down it's about 4. So if you're getting closer in the boat, you might want to lower the power. If you're getting farther out, just turn it up. If you really needed more range, I would recommend getting like some type of amplifier if that's something you need to do, and then keep the power down. Now you can run, like, you know, there's certain ones, our Middle-East are really popular. I don't sell them or anything, but some of them will do 500 watts out with the right input power, which is usually, I think, 20-30 watts maybe maximum to do that kind of power. That's a huge amount of gain, but I'm not telling you should run anything like that, just a suggestion. So I'm going to come back now and just show you AM, and we'll get that AM modulation squared away. The power is already set. Okay, so again, we're back to this. This is AM. If we just get out of this for a second and look, you can see it's not horrible here. I mean, it's over mod though, but it needs to get adjusted a little bit. But anyhow, you can see we're way over where we should be. We don't want it to be this high ever on this test. So, and then also over here you can see how it's pinched off and stuff, and the carrier, it did clean up with lowering the dead key down. That's what that does, but we still need to lower that modulation level down. It's just too high. So I think they just they just turned it up all the way is all they did. I mean, it's just a joke, really. That's how it should look. I mean, you could take it just a few more, but that's too much. That's about perfect right there. So I mean, okay, let's just charge whatever and just turn everything wide open, and we're the biggest and baddest, and nobody's gonna know any better elsewise. Well, people do know, and they can tell, so it's a shame. There's some local guys talking in the background. But anyways, that's how it looks now, so it looks way better, I think. And that's how it should look. And there's the average power from 8-watt carrier. And there's PEP, so perfect. Well, that's how it looks there. 97%. Of course, this is a little out of sync here, so I'll just raise that level up. But we're looking good. It's nice and clean now. You can see we lost a lot of that crap. I can put it back. See all that crap come up? I mean, it's still 2, 4, 6 kilohertz out. 5.5, but it's unnecessary garbage is starting to come up. And if you put a linear behind that, that stuff's going to broadcast. There's no question about it. So you don't need it. And 2, 4, 5. We just dropped it down huge. It's about 6 dB down. So timeout timer. So that's basically it. It's a super easy radio to set up. You would have been better off just paying them nothing, and if you could do it, just put the resistor in yourself. But it is what it is, you know. Unfortunately, the biggest and baddest unfortunately don't do as good a job as they should. And you know, I don't name any names or anything like that, but it's happened so many times from these guys. So I will put my mic that I like to run on these, and then we'll just test out the power really quick, and then I'm going to call it a wrap, and I'll call this one a day because the day is about done. Okay, so this is AM with the RF power all the way up, about 8 watts like I said before, and with peak envelope power it's about between 30 and 50 at times. Sometimes a little bit less, you know, it just depends. But here's our spectrum analyzer while I talk, so that looks really nice too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, check 1, 2, check 1, 2. So nice talking radio here, not too crazy or anything, but just about right. FM again, if we go to FM, about 40 watts there, and you can see the deviation is showing good. It's modulating. Go back to AM. We'll turn this RF power all the way down. I'm not sure where it'll start. About a watt. So at about a watt on these, they do pretty good still from low. I mean, that's a pretty good drive right there. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Check, check, check. Hello. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is much better than some radios are from a low dead key. So I would say it's got pretty strong modulation. And probably the sweet spot on this one would be split the difference. About 4 watts, we'll see. So at about 4 watts on this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, check 1, 2, check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it does pretty good there too. A little less peak envelope power on AM, but we're still seeing upwards of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times the carrier, which is pretty good. At certain voice peaks, it hits up pretty good there. So all in all, these are still nice, really nice talking radios, and I think you should like this one just as much as you like the other ones you got from me now. So no harm, no foul. You didn't know who I was back then, and you don't ever have to apologize. I mean, I don't get upset if people buy radios from other companies and stuff like that. It's just what it is. I'm not full time, so sometimes I do understand why people they get impatient. They want to buy a new radio, and if I don't respond immediately to the email or something, they don't want to wait and they buy the radio. So, but just be wary of who you spend your money with, because these guys are one of the biggest and the best out there according to some. But every time I've seen a radio from them, they never do anything. They just take the money and run, basically, which is a shame. So the smaller guy that's really passionate about the hobby, and not just me, there's probably plenty of other ones out there. Usually we're probably going to do a much better job than a large business that is only looking for that kind of stuff. So obviously I do that for that too, but like I said before, it's more of a fun thing for me. So appreciate the cool picture and the business card and whatnot. If we ever get out your way, I definitely would like to take you take your business out and go on a tour and stuff. That'd be really fun. 73, and we'll get this one back to you soon.